Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline. And if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. Today's video is about learning to discern jhana mental processes. Now these are the types of mental process that arise when we enter a jhana. It is going to be much easier for you to discern these types of mental process if you are already familiar with discerning the mind door mental process. And the reason is that a jhana mental process is like a mind door mental process with a few key changes. Now I've made a separate video on discerning mind door mental processes, so if you haven't done so already, I'd suggest that you watch that video and do the practice, because this video is going to be much more intuitive to you if you're already familiar with discerning those mind door mental processes in practice. Now, if you are familiar with discerning those mind door mental processes, you will remember that a mind door mental process is made up of 3 different kinds of moments. We have an adverting moment, then 7 impulsion moments, maybe or maybe not 2 registration moments, and then these mind door mental processes will be broken up with moments of bhavanga, resting moments. So what are the key differences between that kind of mind door mental process and a jhana mental process? Well, a jhana mental process also starts with an adverting moment. It adverts our attention to the jhana nimitta. But following that adverting moment, there will be 4 impulsion moments that prepare our mind for the jhana. These impulsion moments are not yet fully absorbed in the jhana, they are just preparing the mind. In Pali, we call these moments parikama, upachara, anuloma, and gotrapu. Now, following these 4 moments, there will then arise very many more impulsion moments. And we call those impulsions, those jhavana moments, jhana impulsions, or jhana jhavanas, and those are the moments that keep the mind absorbed in the jhana. Now the second key difference is that whereas usual mind door mental processes are broken up by moments of bhavanga, by resting consciousness, we don't find that in the jhana mental process. Instead, we just have one long unbroken chain of impulsions for as long as the jhana lasts. The third difference is that a jhana mental process has no registration moments. So when the jhana ends and those impulsion moments end, then the mind will go back to a few moments of bhavanga and then the next mental process will arise. No registration moments. So that's a typical jhana mental process, an adverting moment, 4 preparatory moments, and then a long unbroken chain of jhavanas, an unbroken chain of impulsions. So what do we do if we want to discern these mental processes in practice? Well, of course, we can only discern these mental processes if we've already practiced jhana. So what I would suggest is that you start by entering the highest jhana possible and making your concentration nice and strong and stable. Once your concentration is strong and stable, you then want to bring your attention to the heart until you can clearly see those mind moments arising and passing away very, very quickly, one after the other. Then we're going to start by discerning the mental process for the first jhana. So you want to establish a nice, deep, stable access concentration with your jhana object. And when you're ready, you want to enter the first jhana. As you enter the first jhana, divert attention away from your nimitta and towards your heart, and see if you can notice the adverting moment and those 4 preparatory moments arising. Now, if you can't catch it first time, you might need to repeat that process a few times. So entering the jhana, and as you enter the jhana, bringing your attention to the heart base to see if you can discern the adverting moment and the 4 preparatory moments. You want to do that until you feel confident with it. Now, when you feel confident, you can then practice spending a little longer in the first jhana, let's say a few minutes. And when you've been in the jhana for a few minutes, then you can bring your attention to your heart and see if you can discern that long, unbroken chain of impulsion moments, of jhavanas. Now, this is a great way also to discern the quality of your jhana. If you notice a few bhavanga moments mixed in there, in amongst those jhavana moments, in amongst those jhana impulsions, then it's a sign that the mastery of your jhana needs a little bit of work. It means you're leaving the jhana temporarily, just for a few moments, and the mind is falling into bhavanga. If you notice that there are no bhavanga moments in amongst those jhana jhavanas, then that's a sign that the mastery of your jhana is strong. Now, when you feel confident discerning the individual mind moments for the first jhana, you can then repeat the process with all of the other jhanas that you've attained. When you're confident discerning the mental processes for all of the different jhanas that you've attained, there is one other job, and that is learning to see all of the different mental factors within each mind moment of that mental process. Now, I'm going to make a separate video on discerning the individual mental factors within one mind moment. But if the practice is going well for you and you want the next step, then be sure to watch that one. So that's what I have to say today on discerning the jhana mental process. What I would suggest is that you get off of those screens, get onto the cushions and actually give it a go. It's a subtle stage of practice, but it's a very interesting stage of practice too. If there's anything that's unclear to you or anything that you're struggling with, then be in touch with me and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis, so I encourage you to support me either through Patreon or through my website so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.